Hey, welcome to Supersize Your Business. We have got an amazing woman here today, and I'm so excited to talk to her because she is going to teach us how to unfuck our businesses and get rid of the chaos. And you guys know I always want to say that, and I apologize whenever I use the F word or swear, but every once in a while, it's what y'all need to hear. So let's have an interesting conversation with Jessica and let her tell us about her organization, Flourish Inc., I believe, and what we really need to do to cut through the crap and do what's right for ourselves and our businesses and the world. Go, Jessica. Could you tell us a little bit about what you do, how you came up with it, why you do it, and we'll start there, I guess.
I'll give you all the goods. So first of all, thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited for you to embrace the word fuck. My company is called Flourish, and I am a growth and operations strategist. And what that means basically is I'm an unfucker. I unfuck business chaos by putting strategies, plans, organization in place to relieve stress and ultimately grow your bottom line. Let's see. So I've been in business for, a year and a half or a little bit more. Prior to that, I was a stay-at-home mom. I have two little dragons, a 6-year-old and a 2-year-old. And then I worked in corporate America for 15 long, hard years. I needed value. I needed self-worth. And I knew that I had a skill set that I was seeing around that people needed. They needed help with their business. They needed unfucking. They needed relief from their stress. So I rebranded a couple of months ago. I was doing social media management and growth for businesses. And I realized I was growing my clients, but their operations were completely fucked up and they couldn't scale when the growth came. So that kind of led me into the unfuckery that I do now, which is what I did essentially when I worked in corporate. I had my hands in a lot of pots. It oversaw a lot of departments. And in order for your business to grow and for you to feel good, you have to have the least amount of chaos possible.
Totally true. You weren't in quality by any chance, were you?
No.
Okay. I spent a quarter century. I'm pretty old. I got like lots of years on you. My son's 27 and my daughter's 24. I was just thinking about that the other day. I'm like, when did I get so old? And when did I get all this gray hair? But I'm cool with it. And I spent a quarter century in corporate America as a quality director and quality vice president and stuff. And so my whole job was analyzing people's processes, getting departments to work together. And then I always have my own businesses on the side. And so that's why I do Supersize Your Business, because it's kind of the same thing, but different. And it's basically unfucking people's businesses because they have got such a mess, or they're not communicating, or they've just got huge parts of their business that they haven't even considered, is what I find with most of my folks. And it's not on purpose, but a lot of people have started their business. They've just kind of hodgepodged it together. So they've got big outages they don't even know that they have. So like you said, it's impossible for them to scale. So I thought maybe you were in quality because and maybe I was different in quality, but I thought my job was to like get in everybody's business and get them coordinated and working together. And it was really fun for me, which is why I think I could last in corporate America as long as I did, because I never fit that corporate mold very well. But
I feel like as entrepreneurs, we're doers. We have an idea and we're ready and driven and take action, which is awesome. However, that leads to a lot of mess, of super messy closet, as things get going. And I was a general manager for about 7 years. And then office manager in another company prior to that. So I did oversee, I helicoptered, I oversaw all the departments, met with the managers. So it was basically quality control. I mean, everyone, if you're up in a higher level, it's all, kind of quality control. And putting out fires if shit's not working properly. So yeah, feel you.
as an office manager too, that's your job, is to coordinate everything. Not all of them get that, but it should be. So tell us what type of clients you work with most often now.
Sure. I mostly work with clients that usually make 6 or 7 figures and that are looking to scale to 7 or 8 figures. I mostly work with people who have a team or employ VAs that are, finding that there's a lot of chaos, that they're, spinning their wheels, working in their business and not able to work on it. So people that are just riddled with stress and feel extremely overwhelmed with a team or VAs that they need to get their shit together with.
Awesome. I can totally relate to that. My last business was Italian food manufacturing. And you'd think that coming out of corporate America, I would have built this fantastic group of people. And I got involved in too many different businesses along with that, and ended up actually, from all the stress, having a sudden cardiac arrest.
Oh my gosh.
So I so can relate to that, about how you really have to get a handle on some of these things that the thing I missed about corporate America the most was that I didn't have all the different teams that I could, boss around to do the special items for me. It's like, okay, that means I got to figure out how to do all these things myself. And so I can so relate to how people get overwhelmed and stressed and they don't even know what they need to do. But a lot of times it's so simple. All right, here's one. What is your favorite tool to help to recommend to people and have people put in place in their business?
Oh man. So I geek out over spreadsheets, over task management tools. Like I am a huge dork when it comes to that. I love playing with new tools right now. And so I guess I would have different suggestions depending on the project or the task. But I really love something called Monday.com, which is basically just like a to-do list. So it has a lot of categories that you can customize. You can assign people to the tasks. You can put time frames on them, add text, add timelines. It's also really awesome because it works for internal use as well as external. You can share it with your clients. So instead of having meetings every week to discuss the status of projects, they can log into Monday.com and they can see where you're at in their project or what product that you're handling for them.
Nice. My favorite right now is Voxer, because I have bad eyes. Like I have to use a magnifying glass. I have like really bad eyes, not just a little bad eyes, blind in one, and I need a magnifying glass to see out of the other. So anything I have to do that's like typing in detail, it's why I started doing videos, because I'm like, oh, I can talk even though I can't see, and my eyes are going wonky and people are thinking I'm crazy eyes. But so Voxer, when I found that, I was like, that is just a godsend for me, because it doesn't make typos like my eyes and chubby fingers do. So I love
I just discovered this yesterday. So Evernote is like a note taking app. There is a moleskin that you can buy that when you write in the moleskin, it transfers to Evernote. So you can have like a paper and write, and then it transfers it to virtual to your app, which is freaking awesome.
Very cool. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out. I haven't used my Evernote in a while because I got out of researching. I've been so busy that it's just, I could just lose myself in researching. My family says I probably should have been like a research engineer or scientist or something, because I actually am. I can probably beat you out on the nerdiness, because I'm so bad. And I think it comes from being an engineer, and it's fun though, but it's really fun for me. And I think it probably is for you to untangle some of the stuff and show people that, I think that we get overwhelmed thinking things are way worse than they actually are. And that there's a lot of like simple solutions that if an outside set of eyes looks at it, they're like, oh no, just do this. And then it frees the owner up for so much growth and so much potential that they didn't even know was there. So do you have like a favorite client story or something that you would like to share with us? I always like asking people about those too, like who's a client that was just so fucked up, you were like, okay, where do we even start with you?
So first of all, one of my favorite clients is a massage therapist, for given reasons. I do, when he gets it, he uses a lot of tools in his business. So when he gets a new tool, I get like a free sample, or when he learns a new technique, I get a free sample. So I love and he's local. So I visit his office once a month. So I love my office visits with him. Let's see. So, I don't know. First of all, I love all of my clients. I don't, because I've branded myself the way that I have, I repel the shitty people, and I attract the amazing people. I'd say probably one of my favorite clients, he's extremely driven, extremely intelligent, and has great product ideas, but it's difficult for him to launch them within his team. He employs a team of about 50 people. One of my favorite things to do is we do a 2-hour brain dump. We get on the call and he just vomits his brain into mine. And then I'm able to put the product or the process down for him. And then I work with his team and a project manager to kind of work that product out. His product launches were taking 6 to 8 weeks before, and now they're taking like 2 weeks. So it's freaking awesome. I love seeing it all come in and work together. It's amazing.
That is awesome. My son could use you. Your kids don't usually listen to you. He's 27 and he's like an ADHD entrepreneur, like 1,000 times me and anybody else I've ever met. And he calls me almost daily with an idea and, wants me to do these things, help implement it. And I'm like, I got my own stuff going on. I love you. And so he's building his own team and things, but it's like, I've never met a person that has more. And they're awesome ideas. They're all like, half his ideas are $1 billion ideas. They're not like little ideas. They're like beyond the scope of what I can even imagine ideas. And maybe that's, like I said, because I'm old, but it's like, buddy, yeah, you can do that. But I'm not the resource for that.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's just like looking into a messy closet. Like, you don't know where to start. There's shit everywhere. There's pants and shirts and everything. And you have to start one place and prioritize one place. One thing that I suggest to my clients, or a tip that I give people, is when you're dealing with like a huge project like the brain dump, what's important is you chunk it up into bits, and then you focus on that one little bit while keeping the large scheme in the back of your mind. So you're focused on that one thing. You're not feeling so overwhelmed thinking about how fucking messy the closet is. You can just focus on those pants or those shirts or whatever.
I'm in the process of moving. Boy, that's a biggie. That's what I have to do. If I look at the whole project, and I've been procrastinating on it for like 3 years, I'll be honest. And the ex-husband is like, you need to get out of the house. We need to sell the house. I'm like, okay. And I actually did that. I started in my room on Monday. What's today? Friday already. I started in my room on Monday, and I just picked one area and I started chunking away at it. And then I found some really funny things to talk about in my videos this week. So it was win-win.
Right. Yeah.
I feel like I'm making a little progress, not nearly enough. Get done, chunking it down really, really helps.
Any progress is progress. It doesn't matter how fast or slow.
Absolutely. I love that. So how did you decide, maybe it's just who you are, but how did you decide that you could just unfuck people's business and you could brand it that way and say it? And I love that. And I've been just starting to do that. I didn't do it in my corporate life. I just put up with all the crap, and I really didn't do it in my brick and mortar businesses. But a year and a half ago, I, because of my divorce, had to get rid of my Italian food business and my last businesses. And so I decided I would learn how to do things online. And I did not initially filter my clients. And so after a few bad experiences, it's like, yeah, no, I'm just going to be myself and throw it out there, which is why I show up in my pajamas and I do everything in my pajamas and robe, because that's kind of my filtering device. Is like, all right, if you think I'm too dumb because I'm in my pajamas, you're number one, you don't get it. That's okay. Because if you don't get it, like my family doesn't get it at all. They harass me every day. They're like, how can you do videos in your pajamas? I'm like, don't worry, you're not my target market. Right?
I get that.
I'm like, you're not my target audience. So smell you later. And I actually spent yesterday with my family, so it's really fresh, right? They're like, we don't get it. I'm like, have you ever watched any of my videos? And they're like, no. I'm like, well, that's why you don't get it. Watch one or two and you will totally get it. But otherwise, you're not ever going to buy anything from me. So I don't care what you think. Because, you know, our family's never going to, or my family, yours might, but my family will never listen to a word I say. I mean, I'm not a word. And it just makes it really, really humorous. But so how did you, I guess, give yourself permission? Because I think a lot of times we feel like we just need to give ourselves permission to be who we are and show up in the world like we authentically are. That's, I think, one of the hardest things that people I come across deal with, because we talk about, all right, well, what are you here for? What do you want to do? Because I only work with people that want to make the world a better place or want to change the world in some way. And that might be just providing a great living for their family and being the best mom or the best dad that they can be and having their business support them in that. But I mean, that's a way of making the world a better place in my estimation. It doesn't matter what I think. It's just what they think. So that's how I kind of weed out the a-holes from my world. So how did you decide that and determine that?
Well, like I said, I worked in corporate for so long. I wore suits, I wore ties. I was extremely professional. I, you know, showed up with my corporate face on every day, and it wasn't who I was. I, you know, had a work life and a home life. And I mean, it is still important, you know, to separate those two. Granted, I am who I am here in my business and, you know, with my children. Granted, I don't say fuck around my kids. But it was a really hard transition for me. In like writing my content, I would read it back and I'm like, ooh, like this is stuffy. Like this is LinkedIn material. Like it's not who I am. I'm actually bringing the F word to LinkedIn too, by the way.
Oh, cool. I don't know if we're friends on LinkedIn. I'm gonna have to check that out and make sure we are for sure.
I realized, and actually I thought back to when I was in high school. You know, we're still finding ourselves when we're younger. We don't know who we are. And I realized that I had a lot of fake friends, a lot of people who were not authentic and who are not themselves. And right now in my life, I have 2 close friends. I don't have very many. I have 2 very close friends that I love and that I trust and that I can feel like I'm completely me and they are the same. And I don't know, one day I just realized if I'm not being fully me, I am putting out that vibe and I'm attracting other people who dig that. And I don't want that. I don't want to affiliate, build relationships, which turn into shit, turn into, you know, client relationships that maybe clients don't trust you or, you know, micromanage you and then you can't, you know, get your stuff done. But I really feel like embracing who I am has really opened up the authenticity with relationships and with clients. And as far as my family goes, my mom the other day, she's like, you curse a lot in your videos. She actually watches my videos.
She actually watches them. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, she does. She is a huge supporter and I love her so much. So she's like, you curse a lot in your videos. And I said, do I curse a lot with you? And she's like, well, yes. And I said, so why should I not curse in my videos? Why should I not embrace who I am? And she's like, okay, good point. So they see what I'm doing. They love it. I think they're a little bit taken back that I'm so open and honest and embrace who I am. But I love it. I'm thankful for their support. Even if they don't understand, you know, how things are going or what's going on, they'll ask about it because they know that I appreciate them.
That is awesome. That is, yeah, my dad passed away about 3 years ago and he was always my staunchest supporter. And so I actually really miss him because he and my mom, they're best parents in the world, but they're definitely opposites. And I will say, even us old people are still looking for who we are and how we can show up or how we need to show up in the world. And after my health challenges, I decided that, and actually before that, because my last job in corporate America, my best job ever, was a job interview I went in for. And I had decided I was not loving on corporate America anymore. It was getting old. And I just said, I'm going to be 100% myself and I'm going to be exactly who I am. And I had more fun in that job because I was exactly who I was. And they liked that. And that's what they wanted. They wanted somebody that would come in and kind of kick ass and take names and fix things and get everybody working together. And it was, yeah, that was the most fun job I ever had. And then they got sold to a bigger company, of course. And out I went. And then that was when I decided that I was going to finally just do my own businesses and my own things, because I'd always done both. And I was like, yeah, I'm kind of sick of this every 3 to 5 years starting out with somebody different and doing new things. And it was fun because it gave me a really good different industry background and a really diverse perspective on things, which I think helps me today to be a better coach and a better consultant, because I've done so many weird things. Everybody's like, well, how can you go from this industry to that industry? I'm like, because they're really the same. I mean, business is business, and the same principles and the same processes work. It's just the way you apply them in different situations, but you can still use the same tools and the same things, and people are in all of them. And so if you get people right, everything falls into place so much better.
I agree with that. And another thing too, I mean, I have, 2 kids, a 6-year-old and a 2-year-old. So it's important for me to show them that you should embrace who you are. You should be confident in yourself. My daughter actually has her own YouTube channel. So she loves it. She loves to think of skits. She wears what she wants. She, wears her hair how she wants to. And I love that. I love that she feels comfortable and confident to embrace that. Now, the school that she goes to, the parents put their kids in, name brand things or like a certain, style of clothing. And I have tattoos and my nose is pierced. And I actually volunteered at her school, and I was really hesitant. Like, do I wear a shirt that covers my tattoo? Like I don't want her, to be looked at differently because I, am who I am. But her teacher is awesome. Her classmates are awesome. The relationships that she's built with kids in her class and like the parents. I actually have a sticker on the back of my car. I call my kids dragons. And I really love Game of Thrones. And so I have a sticker that says Mother of Dragons on the back of my car. And that's like how the other moms know me. They're like, oh, you're the dragon mother. I'm like, yes, I am.
I love that you can go up and be yourself. That's amazing. I mean, I think that's what everybody in the world wants. And so that's why they're attracted to you, because people are so dying to be themselves, but they feel like they can't be. And I did that for, 30, 40 years because I was in different roles and masks. And I actually did a podcast on masks the other day because I stepped on one in my closet on Monday. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I stepped on it twice. And before I, turned on the light and picked it up, I'm like, all right, obviously stepping on a mask for a reason. But we all wear so many masks throughout our lives that people are dying to know that they can be themselves too. So I think it just sets such a good example for people. And it's a lot more fun. It's a lot more fun to just be myself.
And that's another reason that I do what I do. And I started my own business is because I wanted to show my kids that you could love what you do. You could love your life, and you don't have to follow the standards of society. You don't have to, go to college, work a 9 to 5, even though those are good things. I did go to college. I did work a 9 to 5. I'm not knocking those. That is the life for some people, and they enjoy it and embrace it, which is great. But I think that's one of the reasons that I hated my corporate job, is because I had to put on the mask or a different face to go to work. And I hated it. I hated who I was. And it's funny actually hearing like my old employees, like my husband had a meeting with one of my old employees. She's an office manager somewhere. And she's like, Jessica was my favorite boss of all time. And I'm like, really? Like, that's awesome. She saw through the bullshit and saw me. So no, it's really important. And it's really scary sometimes to embrace who you are. And I mean, even especially if you don't know yourself. But I think that confidence is a big, big, big factor. If you lack confidence, if you're afraid of embracing that, then it's going to be more difficult for you to do so. But thankfully, I grew up having a lot of confidence ever since I was little. And that was definitely I made a post about that the other day. My mom was a huge confidence booster. And I knew, I feel like my fears were kind of minimal, growing up as far as embracing, who I was, even though I kind of shied away and just selected people to hang out with, which kind of molded me into not who I wanted to be, but later saw that. So no, confidence is huge. embracing is awesome. It's amazing. It feels so good.
I think it's just being willing to be vulnerable and realize that people aren't going to like you, but that's 100% okay. I mean,
yeah, absolutely.
I used to watch like how many people I had on one of my Facebook pages, and every day it would go down, 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 right? And today it went down again, and I'm like, all right, I'm just filtering out those people that hate me. This is awesome. And it's such a empowering shift of perspective, because it used to bother me. I'd be like, all right, well, what did I post that upset people today? And now I'm like, okay, what's more like that I can get rid of more people, because they're not the right people to be following me and listening to me. So it kind of, you switch it around and it makes it like a fun game.
I feel that. Like, I mean, the world is so big. There's so many people. There's so many clients. There's so many people that you can be friends with. Why would you want to spend your time and energy? And your time is, I believe, the most valuable asset, the most valuable thing that you have. Especially for me, it's difficult. You know, I have 2 kids, and I mean, I'm a mom first. I take care of the house. I cook and I clean and I do all of those things. And I can't just give my time to someone that I don't feel is authentic or is going to reciprocate it. So why waste your time? Be you. Let the people go. Who cares? There's more people, better people for you.
Well, there's billions of people. And I think sometimes we forget that, especially people that are new and starting a business, they get all desperate for clients and for people to work with. And I'm like, there are so many fantastic people out there that it's fun to help. Why do you want to help people that are jerks or that don't appreciate it? That's why I had a couple clients, and I'm like, yes, we'll never deal with your type clients again. You know, in corporate America, you had to deal with whoever came your way, but now we get to pick and choose. And I think that's incredibly powerful and freeing. So how can people get in touch with you? How can you help them, and how can they get in touch with you? Of course, if they need unfucking or chaotic removal, they know to contact you. But what's the best way to do that? I grabbed your Facebook page, but I don't know if that's how you want people to contact you.
I am on my personal Facebook page. I also have a business page, Flourish LLC. And those are the 2 best ways to communicate with me. You can slide up in my DMs as long as you're not going to sales pitch me. That's cool. Or wave at me. I hate it when people wave at me and say nothing.
What is that waving thing?
Oh my gosh.
I don't know what it is.
Yeah, like you push a button and like someone's waving, and I'm like, okay, like, hey, like I don't know, I don't engage. I've
seen it and I've never waved back. I'm like, I don't know what waving is. Well, good for you, right?
So no, I love building relationships. I mean, I love chatting. I try to make time to connect with a couple of people every week, even if it's just spending like 20 minutes or so. I will soon have an amazing cheat sheet to help unfuck the world, which I'm working on. But yeah, hop on my Facebook page.
All right, I put your Facebook page up there. That's the only one I grabbed. I didn't grab I didn't go to your site yet and grab it, but I'll just throw that up there for people to see.
That's perfect.
And so are you like super booked right now, or can you help some people?
Right now, I'm looking at my to-do list. I'm just finishing unfucking a client. And I will have a spot for 1 client next week, and then another. I can work with about 3 or 4 clients at a time, depending on how bad of unfuck. And usually, believe it or not, my clients retain me for a long period of time. Some of them I've been working with for years. Clearly, because I'm so awesome. But nonetheless, I do have 1 spot available for this next coming week. And I actually have a couple of meetings later today, so I don't know how soon that will be filled, but hit me up.
Awesome.
Slide in my DMs.
Anything, last parting words of unfuckery advice for us? I'm
covered.
Awkward, right?
Right. I think also to take a break, take a breath, like engage in some actual fuckery sometimes. You know, sometimes you need that pattern interruption in your day. You know, watch some silly YouTube videos, play a silly game. I played in the sprinkler with my kids the other day, and then all of a sudden, like I was feeling really overwhelmed. I played in the sprinkler with my kids, and I came back and my vision was clear and the fog was lifted. So give yourself some credit. You're kicking ass.
Love that, love that, love that. All right, my dear, I'm going to let you go so you can go unfuck someone else's business. Thank you so much. We'll talk soon, okay?
Awesome. Thank you.
Bye.